Your TV has a hidden menu. It has been there since the day it shipped, every brand, every model. Samsung, LG, Sony, Vizio, TCL, every single one. It contains settings that professional calibrators charge $300 to adjust. You have never been shown this menu. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to find it and exactly which 3 things to change. Here's what is actually happening inside your TV right now. It did not leave the factory tuned for your living room. It left tuned for a showroom floor. Think about the last time you walked through a Best Buy. 40 televisions in a row, fluorescent lights overhead, every panel trying to be the brightest thing in the aisle. Manufacturers calibrate for that environment. Blazing backlight, oversaturated color, a motion smoothing algorithm cranked so high that every movie looks like it was shot on a phone in 2009. You noticed this the first time you watched a film you loved. At home, something was wrong. The skin tones looked orange, the shadows were washed out, that motion felt wrong. Not cinematic, not filmic, just cheap, plastic. You went into the picture settings. You tried Vivid, Standard, Cinema, Expert, Movie. Some were worse, none were right. And here's exactly why. The settings that actually fix this are not in the menu they gave you. The menu they gave you is not the real menu. Every consumer TV has 2 separate menu systems built into it. The first is what you have been using, the consumer menu. It controls brightness, contrast, sharpness, color temperature, but only within a range the manufacturer decides you are allowed to access. You have been working with a deliberately locked version of your own television. The second menu is the service menu. Engineers use it on the production line to calibrate each individual panel before it ships. It sits underneath the consumer menu entirely. It contains RGB white balance down to individual gain and offset values. It contains the actual backlight ceiling, not the artificial slider range. It contains the motion processing toggle at the algorithm level, not the softened partial version in the consumer settings. This menu is accessed by a button sequence on your remote. No tools, no disassembly, no hardware at all. Just a combination of buttons that exists in every service manual ever written. Manuals intended for repair technicians, distributed to authorized service centers, and never once promoted to the person who actually bought the television, but they are findable. And they are documented, and I found them. The sequence is coming. But first, you need to understand why this information never made it into the box. The TV calibration industry generates hundreds of millions of dollars every year. A certified ISF calibration, the standard used by professional home theater installers, runs between $200 and $500 per television. The calibrator brings a colorimeter, a laptop, and a 2-hour appointment window. What they are doing, almost entirely, is adjusting the 3 settings I'm about to show you. If Sony published these button sequences on page 1 of the manual, that industry disappears overnight. If LG included a plain English white balance guide in the box, nobody pays for calibration. The sequences are not secret in the technical sense. They exist in every service manual. But those manuals are written in technician shorthand, distributed only to repair centers, and deliberately never promoted to consumers. The information has always been public. It has just been invisible. You now know exactly why this menu was never shown to you. Here's how to get inside it. The button sequences vary by brand and model year, so always confirm against your exact model number. Here's the general approach for the 4 brands covering most living rooms. Samsung, power the TV off. With the TV off, press info, menu, mute, power, and sequence on the remote. Some model years use a slight variation. Full chart by model year is linked in the description. LG, simultaneously hold the OK button and the Home button on the remote. Some firmware versions use a slightly different combination. Full list in the description. Sony, on most Bravia models, press menu, then follow a specific directional button sequence. The exact order depends on whether you have a pre-2020 or post-2020 panel. Description has the breakdown. Vizio and TCL both use manufacturer-specific sequences. Full list is in the description below. Getting inside is the easy part. Knowing what to actually touch and what to leave completely alone is what separates a better picture from a bricked television. Before you press anything inside the service menu, you do one thing first. You photograph every screen you can access. Every single one. Take pictures with your phone right now. That is your undo button. Service menus on most consumer TVs do not include a restore to defaults option. If you change a value and cannot remember the original number, the only recovery path is a firmware level factory initialization. Photograph everything before you touch anything. There are exactly 3 settings worth adjusting for picture quality. Number 1 is white balance. Look for a setting called 2-point or 20-point white balance. It will show RGB gain and offset values listed separately. Most TVs ship from the factory with a blue bias. The blue gain channel runs slightly higher than red or green. This is why white on your screen looks cold instead of neutral. Why skin tones skew slightly wrong. Why the whole image feels subtly off, even when you cannot name the reason. Lower the blue gain by 1 or 2 points, or raise the red gain slightly until a white image on screen looks genuinely white to your eye. Small adjustments only. Exit the menu, watch real content for 10 minutes, then return if needed. Number 2 is the backlight ceiling. This is the actual maximum brightness value your panel will generate, sitting entirely below the range of the consumer slider. Manufacturers set it high for showroom impact. Lowering it by 15 to 20% reduces power draw, lowers panel operating temperature, and meaningfully extends LED lifespan. The image will still be bright. It will simply be bright without destroying everything in the shadows. Number 3 is motion processing. Look for any setting labeled ME/MC/FRC or motion enhancement. Switch it off completely, not low, not reduced. Off. The consumer cinema mode often leaves a residual version of this algorithm running, even when you select the most film-accurate preset. The service menu kills it at the root. This one adjustment alone is why a calibrated television looks like film, and an uncalibrated one looks like a live news broadcast. One change at a time. Exit, watch, then come back. Never try to perfect everything in a single session. Here's the part I did not expect when I went down this rabbit hole. On OLED panels specifically, the service menu typically contains a setting called Pixel Orbit, or ASBL, anti-screen burn logic. On many sets, this burn-in protection is not active by default when the television leaves the factory. Enabling it costs you nothing visually, but over 3 to 5 years of daily use, it measurably reduces the risk of permanent image retention, which is the primary failure mode of OLED technology. It takes 10 seconds to find and toggle. If you paid $2,000 for an OLED panel, that 10 seconds is worth it. One more thing worth knowing. If you ever sell this television, run a factory initialization from inside the service menu, not the consumer factory reset. The consumer reset does not touch service menu values. A future owner inheriting your calibration changes with no knowledge that they exist is not a situation you want to create. A $300 calibration. Settings they never published. Your television, finally working the way it was supposed to work from the day you bought it. Total cost, $0 in about 20 minutes. You will notice the difference the first time you sit down to watch something. And if you learned something today that the manual never told you, hit subscribe and share this video with someone you know who's been squinting at a washed out soap opera smooth TV, wondering why it never looks quite right. Now they'll know why. See you in the next one.